I'm Dan Gertzgrove. I set a bucket list goal 25 years ago to use my holidays to travel and learn 50 cuisines from around the world. The goal was then, and still is now, to learn about culture through food. Join me to explore the foods, sights, and sounds from different countries around the world. Everyone needs a life quest. This is mine. Let's go. This time, the road to 50 cuisines has brought me to Indonesia, a huge country in between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, made up of 17,000 individual islands. Culturally and politically, Indonesia is one of the most complex countries in the world, with 336 ethnic groups speaking 583 languages and dialects. Now, after World War II, Indonesia secured its own independence, following 3.5 centuries of Dutch colonialism. As far as the food, Indonesia's cuisine reflects that diversity of its history and its people. Now, eager to explore this enormous country, I decided to start my journey in Bali. But boy, this was not the place of Zen and yoga that I had in mind. What was once a serene escape of pristine beaches, volcanic mountains, and local fauna, Bali now attracts tens of thousands of tourists weekly during its peak season. Now, making my way to the beach, I had to wade my way through a sea of influencers who were all on the lookout for the next iconic Insta post. But since I'm not one for crowded places, I found refuge in the local cuisine. The cooking school at Tapa Tepi Ka ended up being my savior. This serene hotel in Canggu gave me 2 days of cooking classes that was a perfect introduction to Indonesian cuisine. Here I made lumpia, the Indonesian version of spring rolls. I also learned how to make some of the most well-known Indian dishes, such as beef rendang, a spicy stewed beef curry, and ayam goreng, a herb-spiced roast chicken. After my classes, I fought my way against the tourist-fueled frenzy to take my shot at Bali's famous surf scene. I failed miserably and took a surfboard hit to the head from my troubles. A perfect metaphor for my Bali experience, wouldn't you say? Now, having had enough of Bali, I escaped to Nusa Penida, an island just south of Bali, but it felt like a world away from all the madness. My family and I spent a week there volunteering to care for sea turtles at the Green Lion Sea Turtle Conservation Project. Working with a local team to help monitor these tiny travelers was an incredibly rewarding experience. During this volunteer program, I spent a day with the chefs at the conservation project to sneak in some cooking lessons. I learned several dishes, including mee goreng or stir-fried noodles, and another one of Indonesia's most well-known dishes, nasi goreng or stir-fried rice. One of my favorite things we made was satay or skewered meat, seasoned and grilled. As it turns out, this is a pretty popular option among all of the locals. Next on my travels, I flew 600 miles east to Labuan Bajo, the jumping off point to visit Komodo National Park. This part of Indonesia is the only natural habitat of the endangered Komodo dragons. And while these creatures might be very vicious, it's sad to know that only a few thousand are left in the world. I was able to top off this experience with a liveaboard trip on the Kahoma 4. Here, aside enjoying the scenery and some of the best diving in the world, I put my chef's hat on once again and joined the cook team in the galley kitchen.
Yeah, this has got to be the best view kitchen I've ever seen. Yeah, here we go. Hello. Look at this view. Look at where we're. Beautiful. Komodo Island.
I learned how to make 3 different types of sambal, a spicy dipping sauce. I also learned how to make lawar kakang, or long bean salad, and soup bi pasi, a type of seafood stew, and a bit more satay. You can never have enough satay. A little lesson on the boat was the perfect way to round off my culinary adventures in Indonesia. Now, how could my trip to Indonesia be complete without visiting a few historic temples? So the last stop on my trip was Yogyakarta, a bustling city on the island of Java. On the outskirts of the city sit 2 incredible temples, Borobudur and Prambanan, which rival Angkor Wat in their magnificence and splendor. Truly incredible. Now, close by, I made a pit stop to try the world's most expensive coffee. I guess you can say that the unique way of preparing these coffee beans adds to its scarcity and its elevated price. Now, palm civets, which are small rodents similar to a weasel or a mongoose, ingest the ripe coffee beans, and once they fully digest and excise them, the beans are extracted from that excrement, fully cleaned, and then roasted for what turns out to be an incredible cup of joe. And while it tastes really, really good, I wonder who was the first to come up with this idea, and how did they convince their friend to try it? Well, that would have been fun to watch. In summary, Indonesia is a mesmerizing tapestry of cultures, where the chaotic energy of its cities contrasts with the serene beauty of its landscapes. The food, a reflection of its diverse heritage, is a bold, intoxicating mix of spices and flavors, with each region offering its own unique culinary treasures. I, for one, am bound to return to Indonesia.